Hi, I'm Dr. Brad Jacobs. I'm a member of the Integrative Health Advisory Board for Pharmaca, and I want to talk to you today about cholesterol and cholesterol health. I want to start with talking about what cholesterol means and what it is and what sorts of blood tests you might want to get. When you think about cholesterol, what you really want to think about are the subcomponents of total cholesterol, and those are HDL and LDL. You want to boost your HDL, your high-density lipoprotein, and you want to lower your LDL, your low-density lipoprotein. Now, how can you do that? HDL actually can be affected by three different things. Number one, alcohol. Number two, exercise. And number three, niacin. Let's talk about alcohol for a moment. If you drink a glass of wine, or basically one beer a day, that's thought to be able to increase your HDL for some people by a few points. Of course, if you have alcoholism or other complicating factors in your liver and other things like that, you may not want to be drinking alcohol. But for those that don't have those problems, alcohol can be beneficial. The second one is exercise. By vigorous, regular exercise, you can also boost your HDL. And the third is niacin. Niacin can be quite effective in boosting your HDL. You should take that medication in consultation with a physician. It can lead to flushing. It can also sometimes have some liver problems for people, so definitely consult a health professional at Pharmaca or your physician when thinking about taking niacin. But those three different interventions can boost your HDL. How do you lower your LDL? Thankfully, there's a range of different things you can do. I'm a big fan of lifestyle, and that would include exercise. That would include modifying your diet, which we'll talk about in a moment. And those are really the two main factors that I think about to lower your LDL from a lifestyle perspective. And let's talk about diet. There's different types of factors or fats to think about in your diet. There are saturated fats, there are polyunsaturated fats, and then there are trans fats. I want to start with trans fats for a moment. Trans fats are actually the most lethal of all, and they really are quite lethal. Trans fats can be found in baking goods, and they were introduced into the marketplace because they allowed us to make donuts and other cakes and other things and put them on the shelf and last in the supermarket for a week or longer. That's the beauty of trans fats. What we didn't realize until the past decade or so is actually you're 10 times more likely to die from a heart attack gram for gram of ingesting trans fat than you are from saturated fat. So my recommendation is avoid trans fats whenever possible for that very reason. Now, saturated fats. Where do you find saturated fats? Saturated fats primarily are the animal-based protein as a big source of saturated fat. And the leaner that protein, the better. The less saturated fat you'll find. So fish, for example, is your best choice for animal-based protein. And then you move towards chicken, turkey, and then towards red meats, which have more and more saturated fats in it, red meats such as beef. And so when you think about your meal and what you eat, I am a big fan of the Mediterranean diet. Also, you may consider Walter Willett. If you look him up, Walter Willett has the Harvard Healthy Pyramid. And that pyramid is a beautiful masterpiece, in my view, on how to eat in a healthy fashion. And you can see by following that, you'll reduce your saturated fat intake, increase your polyunsaturated fat intake, and cut out your trans fats. So diet's a big piece. Exercise we talked about. What else can you do? There are dietary supplements you can take. Garlic has been shown to affect cholesterol a little bit, but quite a healthy and important food to include in your diet. In addition, stanols, plant-based stanols and sterols are very effective in affecting LDL and improving your cholesterol. And you can find those in things like Benecol, for example, basically like spreads. Instead of using butter, instead of using margarine, you can use spreads like Benecol. Or you can take them as a pill, a plant-based sterol, or a phytosterol we call it, that you can take as a pill as a dietary supplement. And finally, fiber. Whether you get the fiber as barley, whether you get it as psyllium, whether you get it through sort of whole grain fibers that you're ingesting, that reduces the amount of cholesterol that goes into your bloodstream in the first place, and also improves transit time through the colon, and thereby increasing and improving your cholesterol profile. So those would be the main components I would think about with respect to cholesterol. I just want to close by spending a moment thinking about What does cholesterol mean and why is it relevant? We think about cholesterol and cholesterol health. Really, its impact has to do with its effect and risk for giving you heart attacks and stroke. So when you think about cholesterol and your risks for developing heart attacks and stroke, that's how you want to think about what medications and what therapies you want to do. There's something called the Reynolds score, REYNOLD' score. And you can go online and Google the Reynolds score and put in your specific individual numbers and values. When you do that, you'll calculate your own risk for developing a heart attack or stroke in 10 years. And you can then play with the numbers and say, well, if I reduce my cholesterol by this much, how much do I lower my risk of getting a heart attack or a stroke in 10 years? And therefore you can decide, is it worth me taking this medication or taking this supplement every day for 10 years to reduce my risk by X% of getting a heart attack and a stroke? I hope this has been helpful to you. Feel free to go to Pharmaca and see the healthcare practitioners there that can also help you think about this with respect to dietary supplements in your health. Thank you.